Okay, so if you've seen the video on the Volvo S90 I had earlier on this Las Vegas trip, I swapped cars now with a Mercedes CLA 250. And before I make a video on the magnetic field or wireless radiation characteristics of this car, I just want to point out that this car qualifies as the most unintuitive car I've ever driven. It's totally unexpected. So let's take a look inside. And first of all, the first thing you're greeted with is don't forget your key, which is in my pocket. If it was that, obvious, or if it was that forgetful, they should have just used a regular key. But no, they have this button, which is the trendy thing to do in cars these days, higher end cars, even mid-end cars. So let's start up the car, and you get this annoying sound, which is the doors open, okay, and then the seat goes back, but apparently it resets and gets closer instead of holding the same position after the car is off. So I don't know why they do that. Why can't they just keep the same position? Maybe I didn't set the memory thing, but it's just not intuitive. Okay, maybe I just did. But so this car is way too techy, and it's like they were trying to integrate somebody using a computer while driving a car, which it just makes no sense to me. It's like it should be a car first with some computerized aids, if anything. But apparently they wanted the person driving to feel like they're using a computer at the same time, because you have this unintuitive thing where there's a mouse pad here, okay, and it controls this screen. Like, why would I want a mouse pad to control a screen, okay, while I'm driving? It's just really stupid. I mean, the main failing of the Volvo S90 I had was the magnetic field, but everything else about that car is great, okay? Whereas this car, the magnetic field is good, which I will show later, but the driver experience is just so unintuitive to me. So let's just run down with what is intuitive. First of all, you have your parking brake, which is this little button, okay? And you push it in, okay? So now it says park, okay? And then you pull it out, so it's push-pull. So it's just very different there, okay? The light switch is fine. So, okay, but let's go to the steering column now. So you have all these buttons. I mean, I know newer cars have more buttons. My Volkswagen Passat I drive has some buttons, but it's nothing as complicated as this. So you've got this volume roller, you've got these switches, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, you got like two buttons here. You've got this back button to control that screen apparently. So it's like you have two computer screens here and two like control things, and I just couldn't get used to it, okay? And it's just very unintuitive. I mean, I've driven a couple Mercedes before, several Mercedes. Well, one was quite older, but the last time was probably a couple years ago, and it was an SUV, and that was perfectly fine car. So I don't know what they were thinking of when they designed this CLA 250, which is the low-end Mercedes, and I would never want to drive this car on a regular basis. Here is also the shifter, which is, I've seen this and used it in a car before. It's this little stalk, celery stalk type thing, and here's the reverse, and you can see it on the screen there. It's really tiny, What happened to just leaving it here on the bottom where most people are used to it? Again, okay, another unintuitive thing. And then another unintuitive thing here is the climate control. It's these switches that go up and down, okay? I've always thought circular dials or something just a little bit different than this is intuitive, but this is like, again, I don't know what Mercedes was thinking here. It's terrible design, okay? The vents are fine if you want to keep that circular, but then to come to this up and down thing, it's just madness. So You know, the sunroof works great, okay. Yeah, so anyways, you got this computer thing, and I never ever actually figured out how to turn off the radio. Maybe there's a button here. Yeah, there's just all these settings here, and it's just the home button. I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, I actually do know what they're thinking, actually. They wanted this computer experience, so the designer was just too techy, okay? Yeah. And then here, sometimes you can get lost in the screen here. You know, why would I want all this? Look at this. It's just like I have this menu system when I'm driving here. It's, yeah, it's like this little mouse thing. Ooh, okay, now I got sport mode. Yeah. So, it shouldn't be that difficult. It should be just kind of a standard car experience. So, yeah, so now let's go. I'm going to go on and make a separate clip about measuring the magnetic field in this Mercedes. So, yeah, this car gets my award for most unintuitive car and way too digital techy. Okay.